little stony too, apparently. So.
Yeah. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you use your size to bully and impose him into accepting the day I wanted to trade him for?
Okay.
Yeah.
Trade me?
Well, I asked him if he could cover a day for me in January, and I was like, I owe you something back. He's like, oh, no, fine.
I think we're going here. Or we're up at least.
Yeah. So
I'm just
peer
gonna
pressure
wait for
him
the
into giving me a day to cover.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
You could give him one back.
Well, I said, who cares? This is 3 months from now.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't, like, today, tomorrow, 3 months, it's still a day.
Yeah, it's just an even trade.
Plus,
Yeah.
once we get through high school football, Nate's back, so I'm basically just a fill-in for you guys after that. So no issue for me.
Thanks, Eggs. Way to go.
Okay.
Eggs like, sweet.
Tom, you can tell David I'm up and
All right, we're good?
You guys ready to go?
All right.
I think we're good. Yeah, get us started.
All right. So we're live
We're
on Facebook Live.
I think we're live on Facebook Live, on YouTube, on
On
the app,
YouTube?
on kens5.com. Yeah, we're live.
We're live, and I'm over here, I guess, BSing with
That's okay.
everyone and their mother. Well, hi everyone. Welcome to Spurs Postgame Live. I guess that's what we're going to brand this little bad boy on kens5.com and all of our social media platforms. My name's Casey. You know him as Tom. Recapping what do you think is the best way to describe tonight? Different. I don't want to say expected, but kind of rough, difficult.
It was
learning.
Learning, yeah. It was a rough first game of the season for sure. In a season that I think people expected to be rough. I don't know that people quite understood the gravity of that. And we really got our first taste in this game. I mean, at one point in the third quarter, came out strong and cut it to 10 points. And then immediately after that gave up, I think it was a 25-3 run to a shorthanded Charlotte Hornets team that did not have LaMelo Ball.
Right.
And a blowout loss in the first game of the season. In really, if you look at the schedule for this team, one of the more winnable games of the first 20. They're going to Indiana. Indiana is not expected to be a very good team, but this was one of the more winnable games on the schedule, at least in the first month or two, and wind up with a 129-102 loss. Some bright spots, some guys doing some things, and we're going to see that every game. But definitely a rough one to start here. But hey, Manu got his jersey retired. That was nice.
That was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Things got loud. Good to see him always.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of Spurs fans intellectually are on board and understand that this team is going to lose a bunch of games.
Right.
And hope to get a high draft pick. And it's not like the guys out here weren't trying.
I would hope, Tom.
Right. They're all going to try, obviously, but when you shoot 20% from three, when you turn the ball over almost as much as you get assists, it's not going to go great.
I need to bring up some numbers to go with this because I can't do it entirely off the top of my head. Continue your thought. Go ahead.
It was, I mean, the numbers that stuck out to me were 7 of 34 from three, and for the entire first half, only guys named Doug hit threes, and the Spurs only have one of those guys, so it was tough. And you're just gonna see a lot of learning and growing pains with this team. We talked to the guys post game, talked to Pop, Trey Jones, Doug McDermott, and they all basically said the same thing, which was that didn't come out with enough intensity, physicality, And that's what they did well to start the second half was, impose their will a little bit more defensively. We know that half-court offense is going to be a challenge for this team, but I don't think we expected to see such porous defense.
Yeah.
You got your numbers?
No. I'm just bringing it up a little bit, and you were talking about kind of things stagnating a little bit, and lack of point guard play, and it's we talk about the idea of it. Who's going to be the point guard? Who's going to be the point guard? And we throw it out there, and it all just kind of sounds like we're all just collectively like playing 2K.
Yeah.
And then you get out on the actual floor and you saw the byproduct of what happened with this tonight, and it was not great. And just popping up the numbers, and you alluded to it a bit, 7 of 34 from 3. Now, I know the team is not exactly loaded with snipers,
right,
and you're not going to go out there and bring out an inordinate number of threes on the board every single day, but 20% from 3 is obviously not ideal. Now, mind you,
and it was worse to start.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was. Yeah, they caught fire that midway through the third quarter, and things got going. And
Keldon hit a couple. They got going.
Yeah.
And when McDermott came in off the bench, immediately bang bang hit a couple threes. But you look at the roster and you think, who are other guys who can do that? And you wind up scratching your head a little bit.
Which is probably going to be the case for a lot of this season. But I do think that there were positives to bring out of this. I liked what we saw out of Jeremy Sohan.
Yeah.
I did. I liked the activity, the stat line, but then again, generally speaking, I don't think a lot of stat lines involving Jeremy Sohan are going to be particularly pleasing anyways, but I like the activity, I like the energy. He looked like a guy who was, got the vibe that, hey, not the vibes, got the full-on fact that, hey, I'm starting an NBA game, here I am. Yep. I got a team, a coaching staff that's supporting me, I get people behind me, let's go out there, let's have fun. And I think that's, for me, in addition to Keldon's night, probably the big positive takeaway.
Yeah, I really liked what I saw from Sohan tonight, and I mean, his jump shot is going to be a work in progress for this season and probably for seasons to come. But you saw him make an impact on the game, especially offensively, in ways that are repeatable and ways that should be reliable for him. Putbacks, backdoor cuts, things like that, where he's using his size and athleticism to make an impact on the game. One thing that Trey Jones talked about the poor start for this team. They, in the first half, were outscored 38-22. The Hornets had 22 points in the paint in the first quarter. Yeah. The Spurs scored 22 in the first quarter, and the Hornets scored 22 in the paint in the first quarter.
Right.
So clearly going to be some things to work on. My thinking coming into the season was, you've got Jakob Poeltl, who's a great rim protector, and there's a lot of inexperienced younger guys on the perimeter, but Poeltl will be able to clean up a lot of mistakes, at the back end of that defense.
Right.
And tonight, at least, we saw that might be a little bit tougher to execute than you may think.
Yeah.
But I also really liked what we saw from Keldon Johnson tonight. A varied attack. He got buckets in different ways. And in that third quarter there, and Trey Jones talked about it, when he caught fire, the team kind of fed off of that.
Right.
So, he's clearly going to be the go-to guy for this team. And they're going to have to hope that more shots wind up falling because Devin Vassell, he's going to be relied upon to shoot a lot of threes for this team. I think he was 0 of 8 from deep in this game.
He looked... Before I take the mic, I got to register my thought carefully here. Devin Vassell looked kind of like a guy, and again, this is very small sample size, a tremendously small sample size, but he kind of looked like a guy who knew that, hey, shots are coming my way, action's coming my way, everyone's saying I got to be aggressive, people are having some pretty high expectations what I'm doing, and he came out there and he looked a little tight. And he looked a little tight, and I think, I don't want to say, it's not my place to say someone is pressing because that's far from fair for me to say. But it looked like a guy who knew that his number was being called and kind of, read too much into it after one game. That's me. That's my optics of it. But,
And I mean,
but whatever it's
I
worth.
think that he and Keldon are going to have, ultimate green light this season. I mean, they're going to be expected to take these shots and, hopefully make them. But not only that, they're going to be expected to create more offense than we've ever seen them create. And there are going to be some speed bumps and some learning lessons along the way. But yeah, I think that this was definitely a sobering first game, and Pop came out and said it post game. We got our butts kicked. Can't shy away from it. Can't pretend it didn't happen. There's going to be a lot of film to go over.
That's one way of putting it.
He's a guy who likes to go over film.
That's
so hopefully some learning lessons in the film room as well for this team. But yeah, game one at the AT&T Center, 129-102 Hornets. Casey, you got anything else for us?
I was going to say, I think that was a good place to leave it.
Yeah.
I mean, a rough start. There's only so many ways you can turn and look at this kind of thing. But listen, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. This is what we expected at the start of the year. Nights like tonight, you hope it doesn't become too commonplace. But for the sake of this conversation, it might be a thing that becomes commonplace. We don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, Spurs back in action coming up Friday at Indiana. Open up a 4-game road trip. Tom, Kens5.com, everything Spurs, everything silver and black, remotely close to it. Did I miss anything?
I had one more thing.
Oh,
What you got, Vindog?
What do you think of the 50th anniversary court under the lights for the first time?
I liked it.
And the jerseys.
I liked it.
We didn't talk
Oh,
about
we didn't
the
even-
jerseys.
yeah, I mean-
Iceman jerseys.
Yeah, the Iceman, those were cool
Those
too.
are
Those were
those
good
were
too.
beautiful to behold.
Yes.
I'm excited for the teal ones. At least we think they're teal. We know they're teal.
Yes.
Maybe that's why Blake Wesley didn't play tonight. He's in the gulag for leaking those. But yeah, might have lost by 30, but the jerseys were fire.
And everyone was happy to see Manu.
Yeah, anytime he's here, they could just show him on the Jumbotron and it would get about as loud as it would get at any point during the night. And if he's on the court saying words, that's even better. So, yeah, always fun to see Manu, and his jersey now says Hall of Fame, so everybody knows.
Always fun with this guy too. This guy got a new suit, right? Like that teal color. He's talking about the teal.
We're both looking all right.
Yeah,
I gotta say,
I
we're
take
pretty
after you, man.
fashionable dudes.
I take after you. So
but
hey,
yeah.
let's make this a semi-regular, not a 41 games because I don't have the energy to do 41 games.
Hey,
Well, let's
just 40 more. Just
yeah,
40 more.
there's only so many ways that we can have this conversation after a loss. But hey, let's do it again soon, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you, Casey. Appreciate you.
I don't know how we close this thing with our fantastic web department back there. So
they'll take care of that.
they'll take care of that.
We'll just sign off. And say,
Fitting. There you go.
yeah,
they
they're
closed it
turning the
for
lights
us.
off on us.
They
All
closed
right.
it for us.
So you guys have a good night. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Go Spurs, go.